What is the stupidest thing a teacher has tried to tell your child? When I was in kindergarten, my mom was called in because there was something wrong with me. Turns out that the problem was that when I was asked to draw my family, I drew everybody as ducks. They were all there, mom, dad, siblings, but they were ducks. The teacher insisted this was very serious and my mother asked why. They said they didn't know, but it wasn't normal. Not a parent, but I clearly remember this years later. We had a substitute who gave out this small little questionnaire activity. One of the questions was, does the United Kingdom have a 4th of July? I answered yes. He laughed at me and got the entire class to laugh at me too. When I clarified the question was the 4th of July and not Independence Day, he just ignored me and continued to make fun of me. F****ker. Edit. Holy S****t this blew up lol. Thanks for the upvotes. It truly was one of those trick question exam. The photo associated with the question showed the American flag and fireworks, so it really was trying hard to trick everyone. Sure as hell didn't fool me. Happened to me as a kindergartner. Right is right and left is wrong about which hand to write and draw with. In elementary school, my teacher asked what was 1/3's decimal value. I said approximately 333, and she insisted that wasn't approximate. Told my daughter she was just stupid and maybe she should transfer to a different school. She has dyslexia. I can think of 2 things that were told to me by a teacher. Honestly don't know which one is worse. In 3rd grade we were talking about units of measurement and someone asked if a meter was longer than a yard. The teacher proceeded to pull out 2 yardsticks and said one was a meter stick, lined them up, and informed the class that a meter and a yard were the same length. Middle school teacher was telling the class how lack of exposure to germs in developed countries has weakened our immune systems and led to various autoimmune disease issues like AIDS. Then she said that in 3rd world countries in Africa they had stronger immune systems and that they didn't have diseases like AIDS. When he was 11, my son's teacher told him he was lying about being colorblind and sent him to detention as there was no such thing as colorblindness. My parents always make this joke about me that my 1st grade teacher told them that I would have problems learning how to read because I couldn't skip. Literally, I could already read and was reading books on a daily basis after school just fine. My son's 3rd grade teacher told the class that birds do not eat other birds after watching the Thanksgiving Charlie Brown special where Woodstock sits down to eat turkey. Not exactly the question, but in kindergarten there was some concern because on some test with pictures, I didn't know what a wheelbarrow was. My parents pointed out that I had never seen a wheelbarrow. I will never forget an incident that happened to me in preschool. It's probably one of my earliest memories. We were sitting on the carpet in front of the teacher. She had just finished talking to us about squirrels. She asked us to name some places we would see a squirrel. I raised my hand at once. The other kids named trees, bushes, grass. I said on the wires, because every day, the squirrels would use the telephone wires to walk on. She told me I was wrong. Dumby ***ch. I had an early lesson teaching me that teachers aren't always right. This was in 1985, and I should be over it by now. That has not allowed to read the Guinness Book of World Records. They literally have the entire collection of these books at the school library, but refuse to let any of the kids read them, and if they do they punish them for it. They also won't remove the books from the library. It's F***king bizarre. That my daughter was pronouncing her last name wrong. Her own name, not the teacher's name. That she didn't deserve the Italian Achievement Award because she didn't put in enough effort. Kid had a 97% average in class. Next highest student had 85%. Kid spent 5 months as an exchange student in Italy. Worked after school in an adult Italian language center. Was a barista at an Italian coffee shop. Was planning to study international relations at uni. The #kid got the Italian Achievement Award because they put in more effort. My kindergarten teacher told my mother that I was retarded and would never learn to read. I never went back to that school. My brother's kindergarten teacher tried to convince him that his name was Alexander, when it is actually just Alex. There was another student in his class named Alexander who preferred to be called Alex. The teacher actually drove my brother to tears when he tried to explain what his real name was. Our parents had to get involved and get the teacher to back off. Who argues with a child about what their real name is? Had a teacher try to convince me that Lenin and Stalin was the same man, and that his name was in fact Lenin Stalin. I'm not even from Russia. This convo somehow popped up in economics class. Teacher once argued with me about how to pronounce my own damn name. Teacher told my sister that the moon shines because the sun goes behind it and its light goes through the moon, lighting it up. Edit. For everyone saying they thought this was correct, I'll explain. The moon reflects light from the sun, but the moon is not transparent. Therefore light from the sun cannot shine through it. Even if this were the case, the moon and sun would have to line up perfectly every night, so the moon would be in front of it. This happens very rarely and is known as a solar eclipse, where the moon blocks out the light of the sun. A couple of years ago my daughter went to 3's preschool and the teachers were fully aware that she's in speech therapy and wasn't verbal yet. On the first day of school she got a bad mark because she wouldn't verbally tell the class what she did over the summer. WTF. That was the first in a long string of issues with her teachers that lead us to pull her out of that school before Halloween of that year. When he was about 5, my son's teacher decided she'd try to cure everyone in the class of their worst fears. At the time he was afraid of the dark, so said teacher sat him in the middle of the classroom with a blanket over his head to convince him there was nothing to be scared about. She wasn't at the school the next year. And very long ago in my own childhood, our head teacher explained to the class how heavier things fall faster. One little 10-year-old brainiac went home and told his parents this howler, and the head teacher was removed before my final year in primary school. Having been in her class for 2 years, suspect that was only actually part of the reason. Edit. Thanks to those below explaining about gravity etc. When I woke up this morning and saw all the questions asking why that was wrong, I had one of those everything you know is wrong type moments. I'm American, but I spent 5th and 6th grade in the Netherlands, where kids start English lessons in 5th grade. In 5th grade my teacher insisted to me that the word tortoise was pronounced tortoise. No amount of insisting on my part could get through to him. He just kept telling me that maybe that's how you say it in America, but this is how it's really pronounced. Not my kid but my niece. She was being bullied and her teacher told her to let it go and think about how the bully feels, and that it's his way of showing how he likes her. Or my favorite line, you guys are all young and kids will be kids, just deal with it. My 7th grade science teacher condescendingly told me there was no such thing as dry ice. My sister had a teacher who marked her incorrect for spelling the word okay, saying that the correct spelling was okay. Our son came home confused because he was told he spelled his name wrong. My wife hustled down to the school to carefully explain to the older teacher, no B ***ch. We use the German spelling of his name, not the Ohio spelling. My wife then repeated that in her fluent German with some added NSFW words. Not my kid, but my teacher told me nostalgic wasn't a word. She taught English, and I was a junior in high school. You naturally may think, oh I bet you spelled or said it wrong. Nope, I used it. She asked what I was trying to say and I explained, yeah I know, like when you are remembering something nice from your past. Learning about food webs and nutrients in 9th grade biology class, I asked the teacher a question. Me, where do mushrooms and other fungi fit in all this? What kind of vitamins or other things would I get from eating them? Teacher, because mushrooms aren't part of the food chain and feed only off dead things, they won't have any nutritional value. Yelled at me when I told her that Eiffel Tower is in Paris, not Rome. I was in Paris year before. I even told her I saw a triumphal arch from the top of the tower. She told me to shut up. I had a teacher in high school get into an argument with the class because a student said something about the sun rising in the east. The teacher was adamant that the sun rose in the west. The fact that the whole class disagreed did not deter her. This was before the internet. Me, how do you spell belly? Teach. That's not a real word. You can't use it. Me, yes it is. Teach. No it isn't. The other students seemed just as confused as me. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.